Hey, 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 welcome to Meenamma's Candid Corner. And today is a very, very special edition of the event Mavericks. I have in my studio a wonderful, wonderful aura, a spiritual being whom I would love to introduce. Welcome to the Meenamma Show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show where today we are incredibly honored to have with us a true pioneer in the media and entertainment industry, Sushma Gaikwad. नाम तो सुना होगा. A woman who has woven a web of beautiful stories, bringing life to the fore. She's the co-founder of ICE Global and the Wizcraft Management Institute of Media and Entertainment. Sushma has been a visionary leader, steering our industry, the event industry, with her innovative and experiential communication strategies. Sushma's illustrious career spans groundbreaking work in corporate identity, implementation, and she is famous, renowned as a motivational speaker and a leadership coach, and you will see why very, very, very soon. Her work has not only shaped the industry for events, but has also inspired countless individuals to reach their highest potential through her expertise in neuro-linguistic programming and experiential learning techniques. She is a hands-on person. As an advocate for gender equality and inclusion, Sushma's role as the chairperson of We Care, the initiative, and her contributions to Road Safe India highlights her commitment to social impact alongside her professional pursuits. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Sushma joins us to share her insights and experiences in transforming the media landscape. Let's dive deep into the wisdom that she has to offer, discussing innovation, leadership, and the future of our industry events. In a summary, it's my honor to put together a woman who has worn many hats. Think about it. Here we have a woman who is a motivational speaker, a certified leadership coach. She speaks at many global forums. She's a writer. She's a columnist. She's a co-founder of a company, her own, ICE Global and Sukoon. She's director, Wishcraft MIME, a woman leader par excellence, an NLP master, a holistic wellness evangelist, a subconscious breakthrough therapist. My, the bouquet is large, but the woman is here. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Welcome, Sushma Prabhu Gaikwad. How do you feel, Sush, to be here?
It's first of all lovely to be here, Meenakshi. And I must say, I was waiting to meet this person you were describing, and then I realized it's me. So it was wonderful. So beautifully you put it together. Thank you so much. You've covered, I think, about 40 years of my life in this wonderful paragraph that you've written. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me here, Meenakshi. Thank you.
Sushma, sometimes we stare at people from far away because they have such positive auras. And the first time I met you was at the EMA event, and I saw this smart woman, and I guess everybody's jaw was dropping because you were dressed so beautifully. But I saw an aura, a spark. And immediately I reached out to the person next to me and said, "Who's this lovely lady?" And the name Sushma Gaikwad came to me for the first time. Sushma, I'm really curious because I've captured you in my seat. Meenamma is a very inquisitive middle-aged woman. So pardon me, I want to know where it all started. Tell me about your childhood. I missed so many years of you, Sushma. How was childhood? Where did you grow up? And how was Sushma the little girl?
Well, we keep it as deep as we possibly get. I won't say I'm a hardcore Bombayite. Back then it was Bombay, not Mumbai. And was brought up by two loving parents. And my mom and my dad have been, I think, the inspiration in my life. Both of them have really propelled me to understand who I am. They've always supported me, along with my older sister. So my sister happens to be 10 years older than me. She's been more of a mother. She's been very protective. And it was very exciting to be in a family that was protective, loving, and yet provided ample opportunities for you to make mistakes. So I think that is a little bit of my background. Dad being a South Indian, mom being a Gujarati, wonderful mix, wonderful blend of parentage. Dad was Catholic, my mom was Gujarati. So again, mixed religions in the family. So you grow up learning how to respect other religions, learning to respect yourself, learning to respect mindsets, and being naughty. So I was the naughty one. I've always been the rebel. My sister towed the line. She was the disciplined disciplinarian as well, while I was the crazy one. So I remember my earliest memory of my childhood. I remember. I'm sure I did much much before that. But I remember running away from my kindergarten. I must have been nursery, those play schools
Oh,
you
yeah.
had. I
You
remember
ran away
running
from
away from there.
preschool?
Yeah, and I found my way, found my way. It was in my lane, and I found my way into the homes of one of my neighbors in another compound. Sat there, ate food, chilled, relaxed, all while my poor maid was running around town looking for me. So that is the earliest that I remember that I was naughty, and that's how crazy and naughty I was. So this is a little glimpse. The rest you know. I mean, I don't even have to spell it out for you. You can figure it out.
Sushma, just look at you. You're bubbling with confidence. You communicate. You wear many hats. You come across as a woman who has always seen the powerful side of life. But I was going through your TEDx and I saw this little beautiful lonely girl on a swing. There is a story of this girl who was on a swing by herself, and she was actually vacillating between depression and good times. Do you remember that little girl? And you have been up and down in your life. Tell us about it. There are many young people there who have seen low pits in their life and they did not know how to come back. So, in case they look at us and think, oh my God, these are strong women, we all have gone through that path. So, tell us your path of swinging in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something I'm very proud of. I wear this as a badge of honor. I'll tell you why. So there was this entire aspect, this I told you the entire piece of me in nursery school. That was much before I went to school. And the same wonderful family mix that I spoke to you about, right, which was a Hindu mom. And I don't want to make this about religion. I want to make this about how it affects your identity. Yeah. So my mom was Hindu, my dad was Christian. I went to a Catholic school. There was this entire, like a little part of a portion where I felt that I was not accepted for who I was. Yeah. And I felt this huge amount of, like I would call it an identity crisis. My name in school was Jannavi Prabhu. And when I went for religion, for the catechism class, I was actually told, listen, your name is Janvi, you can't be a Christian, you can't sit here. And when I went to the moral science class, I was told that you are registered here as a Catholic, so you've got to go back to catechism class. So there was this entire week that I was shuttled between catechism and moral science. And I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to go and sit on a swing and swing away in the park. It's better than being felt let down. I was feeling very let down. But that kind of snowballed into, I call it my lost years. And I think a lot of this has got to do with your own mindset on how you perceive the world, right? So I call them my lost years because this happened in the first standard, aroundish, senior KG first standard. Till the fourth standard, I was in my own piece of, I call it my own island called
Mm,
John D. Island. I would not interact. In fact, I don't even remember much about what happened to me in those years. I
yeah.
went through severe isolation and I was this crazy, bubbly person. I was a very different person in at home than I was in school. Uh, Nobody knew me. I was not even, nobody acknowledged me. I think half of the time nobody knew me and acknowledged me because I was invisible to myself. And what I'm telling you is something that really ran deep for many, many years, up to my fifth standard. And that's when my friend, who still today remains in my life, is when she actually sprung up and she happened to be my bench partner, and she started talking to me, and I was very excited because here I was. calling myself a vernacular, I didn't have that much of a hold on the English language. So in my mind, I was a vernacular who could barely speak English, right? So here I had this it girl who befriended me, called me for her birthday party, and I got really excited. So that's when I actually learned my first lesson in life, and that is there's always reach out to people because you don't know what they're going through. You know, they in their own shackles of their mind, they're stuck there. And I was super excited. She invited me for a birthday party, her birthday party. I went for that birthday party, and I was with girls, and I was wearing the salwar kameez, and I was with all these girls wearing. I know it sounds really crazy, right, Meenakshi? But I was comparing myself because there were these other girls wearing lovely dresses with sashes and shoes and socks, and I was in a salwar kameez with chappals, right? So then again, I started, feeling a little inferior, and I kept feeding this inferiority. Let me tell you that nobody is to blame for this except myself. I
Your
kept
mind
feeding
was playing tricks, yes.
absolutely. You keep feeding that inferiority, and I did, and up to a point that I don't know, it was around the seventh or eighth standard that I really started accepting myself for who I was. And when I did that, when I finally did that, that's when I actually started coming to my own. And that was, pure building blocks of how you can create life. But yet, let me tell you that depression, now we know it was depression. Back then we didn't know what it was. It was just a feeling of isolation. It was a feeling that you didn't want to talk to anybody. It was a feeling of not being accepted. But today I understand that as being depression. That depression found its roots in another way in my life. When I went through a heartbreak, my first ever heartbreak, um, I'm sure I was depressed. I was 100% sure I was depressed for at least 7 odd years. After I got married and I had my child, I went through a severe bout of low. Like it was a constant feeling of low. You're smiling, nobody knows. Everyone thinks you're happy, but you know that you are absolutely alone in this world. There's no one else there for you. While there is so many people, you have to be grateful for people.
Yes.
You know that I have to be grateful. I've got a wonderful family. I've got a great husband. I've got great parents, lovely in-laws. Everything I need to be grateful for is here now for me to take. And yet there is this feeling that is unfounded. You just don't understand. And that's what depression is. So when I went to
Yes.
the doctor, Meenakshi, I remember the doctor saying, you're depressed, you need to be on medication because it's clinical depression. And I asked her, what's clinical depression? Because I'm talking like way back, way back.
Mm.
And I was an economics student with very limited psychology, so I didn't understand what she was saying. And when she said, it's your mind. And that's when my actual journey in life began. And I really wanted to understand what is this mind that creates this feeling? What is this? And that's took me, on that path of getting all those certifications that you mentioned. I didn't do all that honestly to help anybody else but me. I did all that, whether it was neuro-linguistic, master being a master practitioner, learning pranic healing, learning geni therapy, everything was only
Very
so
nice.
that I could help myself. And once I did, uh, then it gave me the access that, what, I can bring myself up to this point. Now I've got access to kind of reach out and help others. I hope I wasn't too long. And that's when I
Wonderful.
set my yeah, I set up my enterprise in learning and development and became a coach and a trainer and set up
Yeah.
this whole new field.
The rest is history, Sushma. But this a lesson here for all our viewers, especially younger people. It's very easy for us, to give permission to our and even powerful women like this had to carve that niche for themselves, had to fight that battle in a backward manner against the stream. So even Sushma had to yo-yo up and down till she realized that the battle was in her head, the enemy was within her mind. And once she came to terms with that enemy and was able to take that journey ahead with that person inside her head, she only saw success. So acceptance of whatever problems you have is the first stage. Secondly, know yourself. So Sushma is an outstanding example of she used to speak in the vernacular, but can you even believe today her English is so impeccable. She talks on stages, she motivates people, and it's all in the Queen's language. It was a total alien language to Jahnavi. But Sushma is different ball game. She is playing a game of excellence, having fought her fears fiercely. Now, Sushma, I'm going to ask you. You've done many, many things, yes, in your pursuit to find yourself, whether it was wellness or it was your mind. You came into our industry at a time when everything was nascent. All of us were digging our little holes and trying to get our homes together. I remember 1992 when I went to register razzmatazz. People looked at me like I was mad, and here I was, a scientist just come back from Stanford and my postdoc, and trying to do something, and they didn't know where to qualify and quantify me. And so you must have been a young girl at that time, and you came into the workforce. How was it? How was the beginning of getting into events? Why events? Event managers, you really have to be mad to get into events. Passionate and mad are two different things. You have to be obsessed with doing things for others. So, how did you come into that stream and make it your home?
So you know what, Meenakshi, I would love to tell you that it was always a dream to be an event manager, and that would be absolutely not true because it was at the time. It was back like I'm literally a year after you. I entered the industry in 1993. So
Ah,
the fact is there was no industry at that point of time. There were three and a half players. That's it.
yes,
And I was working for another company, a corporate company, and that's when then three directors of Wizcraft came into that corporate company to make a pitch. And I was there, and one of the directors happens to be a family friend. Okay, so he was like, Jano, what are you doing here? So I said, I'm working here in this company. He said, you should join us. You should join us. And that's how I joined my first company, which was Wishcraft. It was just so I was like, what do you all do anyway? So and they were coming in to do a pitch for a brand called Smirnoff, and
oh yes,
Smirnoff,
the
yeah,
big one.
and Smirnoff. At that time, there was this a lovely brand, a lovely initiative, and now what we call IP. It was called the Smirnoff International Fashion Awards. So they came
Yes,
to
yes,
do a pitch, and I was there in the room when they were pitching. I was with the client side, and I quite liked this idea that an experience, and there's so much that goes behind what we would think of a party. There was so much of a thought of brand, there was so much perspective of how do you engage the, back then we used to say guests. Now the entire, verbiage has changed into target
yes,
audience and all. We didn't have
yes,
all that. These are the times of the OHP OHP projector. This was the time that we used to do acetate sheet presentations. I'm talking about
yes.
prehistoric times, and that's much as much of a dinosaur as we are, right? But when the minute I saw that presentation that they made, and I was sold. And that's when I felt that this is a new media, this is something new, and I really want to be a part of it. Now, there's another thing that I went and I started working with them at a lesser salary that I was getting in that multinational company. But the fact is remains that my parents supported me because middle class family. We are known by the salary that we make, right? And my dad found it a little crazy that I'm going for 50% less than I was already getting paid. And for what? To learn to do organized parties. And he was a little skeptical. But we had Viraf there. So he was like, okay, fine, there wasn't something credible because it was a family friend. And that's actually how I stepped into what we call today the event.
Events,
It was
yes,
amazing, amazing time in Achi, amazing time, especially working with that with Wishcraft at that point of time. Uh,
yes.
we were experimenting as we're going, and I'm preaching to the choir because you were there, right? And
Mhm.
you know how it was. We had to go and really I remember convincing clients that they had to give us 17.65%, and they would wonder why, because they would anyway get a decorator to do it. Are decorator to kar raha hai? I would get that normally, right? Then we
Yes,
got this entire niche, which is corporate. And that's when, it kind of coincided 93, 94, 95, 96, the boom time of multinationals coming into the country.
companies who came
That's
back
when
to
the
India,
thing.
know about it. Yes.
So Korean companies, your Daewoo's, your LGs, You had the BPL mobile launch,
Yes,
the entire mobile revolution, Orange, and that's when we actually got to flex our muscles to understand that this medium is more than a party. This is a
correct.
medium actually is about brands and creating experiences for the brand target audience.
Yes,
This is a medium where we actually can create retention for that
yes,
audience. This is a medium by which we can actually enable people to be convinced to buy. So it was like you can see me getting
yes.
excited. I just loved
Sushma,
that time.
now that you've told everybody how we felt, many people always think, oh, it was, it's a glamorous industry, there's so much of glitz happening, it's an easy way to be in the limelight. But I want to remind everybody and you of a particular day, and it's a story that you told, and I want you to tell us that story. Was it easy to be an event manager? I take you back to the 22nd day of April 2002. At 7 p.m. in the evening, Sushma was exhausted in the backseat of a car. Tell us what you were doing that day. Why were you exhausted, and why was this day so important to you?
Oh, that is an entire story you told. My God, you do excellent research, I must tell. I must say that to you.
I told you, I
I
told you.
remember. Yeah, are you okay with this light now? Suddenly, there is this strange light that's coming. The sun. It's okay, right?
Yeah,
I hope because I can see the sun. Nothing I can do about it. So everyone just.
it's okay. The sun is
This is
our
like
audience. Let's go on.
this is like Dhoop Chow. Let's have some fun with light. Okay.
You
So
can't hide anywhere. The sun's on you.
always on me, the
Yes.
spotlight. No, actually, it was very interesting because it was at 7 o'clock in the evening that I was there in the backseat of my car, and I was completely exhausted. And I must tell you why I was exhausted because, but I remember very clearly cradling my head down in my lap, staring at my white shoes, exhausted because the entire day was spent actually planning an entire wedding. I went through the entire motions like any event manager should, starting right from planning it, getting everyone organized, telling the choirs what to do, giving a entire brief to the video guy, doing the entire shebang that an event manager does. And I had just finished, and there was this entire moment where you had to uh, tell the father of the bride how to walk, where to walk, tell the bridesmaids where to walk. This is like the normal thing that a person goes through as an event manager. And then I found myself in the back seat of the car, just one event down, one more to go, because there was another event which was a follow up of the church wedding, which was the reception of the bride and groom. And in the story, I talk about how my eyes moved right from my shoes up my white gown and through my veil. I looked at the man I had just married, and that was my
Yeah.
husband. And that was a shift in my entire that moment was crazy because you're so involved as an event manager planning everything that you absolutely forget that you are also part of that
You are the
particular.
bride.
You're the bride, forget everything else. Because I remember, now, Meenakshi, I remember I was sitting at the altar, right? And I'm going to tell you something very private. I was sitting at the altar, and my cameraman, I had no time to brief him earlier, only because we were doing a huge event for a client. So I was so busy with the client event that my own wedding took. I married my partner, that's Pramod. So our wedding took like last place because client work is more important, right? So I remember very clearly this entire part where the cameraman, he was a Gujarati, he didn't know anything about a church wedding, and he was supposed to point, we had those lovely boys, he had to point it towards the altar. Instead, he was
Hmm.
looking at us. So I remember telling him, Peli baju jo, Peli in Gujarati, like, e baju, aiya nahi, e baju, I was telling him. I come,
Well,
it was unreal. And that's how a life of an event manager is. You miss those moments, you miss the moments of your best friend's marriage. You miss being there when your parent is in hospital because you're so busy
yes.
chasing your deadlines. Yes, and that's the big sacrifice. And I think it's not even a sacrifice. We enjoy doing it. Let's not kid ourselves. But yet it is a different You have to be passionate. You have to love it. You can't view it as I'm tolerating doing it. मेरी life इतनी ये है देखो मैंने शादी you know on my wedding day I was too busy working. I still look back and laugh at oh my god this is what I did.
You made the
Yeah.
entire checklist and the whole flow of the event as an event manager, and then quite forgot that you were the bride. And at the end of the day, the
Yeah.
bride was really tired. And it's a beautiful story. It tells us that many of us. I still remember. I go back to 2007 on March 20th. I was called to anchor an event in Chennai. It was a 50th birthday, and this gentleman had booked us, 6 months ahead of time. At the same time, my little boy was dying of cancer in Bombay, and I told him, I said, Rohit, I cannot go. He said, No, ma, you're the best, and he believes in you. Go. It's a matter of a flight away. I still remember, I mean, I echo the thoughts. I was not in the moment of my child's last few hours because I was trying to, show my skills as an event manager because of, commitments. So all of us, you don't think it's easy when you walk that path. It's like Spider-Man, when you put on that underwear, you become so powerful, but the responsibility that comes with it takes you to another level of commitment where your emotions don't exist. So, if you're ready for all this, then event management is the place because we are creative. We do what our passions do. We take ourselves to a different level every day. Sushma's an outstanding example of growing every day, inch by inch. She has different versions of herself. She comes as a trainer, as a speaker. You wear so many hats. Which is your favorite one? Which is the favorite role? I don't want you to say events if it's not events, but I know that, you're passionate in every avatar of yours. Which one is your favorite where you really feel this is my skin?
This is going to be very difficult to answer, Meenakshi. But let me tell you, my favorite role is that of being a good human being in
What a
everything I do.
wonderful answer. Beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
very difficult to answer because I love everything I do. Otherwise, I would not be doing it. So
Very true.
whether it's events, whether it is coaching, whether it's with my students in Wizcraft Mind, whether it's mentoring students, whether it is being a leadership coach, everything I love it. But I think my favorite role is being a good leader. I think
That's a
that if
beautiful.
I that's all I aspire to. I don't aspire to be anything more than that. If I can get that down to
Yeah.
a T, oh my, without holding myself ransom, if I can live my life without going through guilt, if I can live my life without second guessing myself and others, if I can live my life without judging myself and others, if I can live my life with pure abandon and joy, I think I'll have lived a life well lived, and that is my endeavor. Honestly, hand on
Yes.
my heart, that's my endeavor.
Yes. Ashma, you never had this gender hang up. I guess, in our generation, we were told that, girls get married after they finish their college and they have their babies and settle down. But you and I have trailed and, we have blazed a trail that is totally different to what the normal Indian girl does. Uh, Even today, you were telling me 48% of our industry, event management, is represented by women. And that's a great thing to pat our back by. And what about all the girls who are watching us? Actually, many people are very frightened. What would their father think, mother think? Even today, Sushma, Janavi felt like that years ago. Meenu felt like that years ago. But today, even today, Anita, Sunita, Sabita think like that. So, what is your takeaway for girls who want to get into events today? How do they enter the space, and how do you think that we have to pitch for more women into our system?
So, thank you for that question. Like you know very well, I'm chairperson of WeCare, which is an initiative to drive inclusivity, EMA initiative, that is the Event Management Association of India, our initiative to drive inclusivity in the industry. Now, I have a very different point of view when it comes to women in the workplace. So I don't know whether there's a point of view that everyone will subscribe to, yet let me place it. I think we first have to stop viewing ourselves as women.
Correct.
And first, I think we have to view ourselves as professionals first. I think the perspective, like I was saying, remember, most of it came through my own mind. So what I think I will project. It's as simple as that. If I perceive myself as a professional par excellence, I will deserve that place in the sun. I will make that place in the sun. I will get those leadership roles. I will get the growth in my career. I will get my clients to listen to me. I will get my client, my vendors, my peers, and my seniors to respect me. So I think that it starts there, point one. Now, while that is said, there is a way of getting that done. One can't to be. I've seen a lot of this. It's not about male versus female. It never is a gender aspect. It is
Yeah.
about your relationship with a gender. So, are you? Do you really think, as a woman, are you looking at, like, maybe to survive in this world, I need to become a little bit more radical, or and that's what you'll exactly be, right? So a lot of times, and I'll just state it in a very simple way, a lot of my industry friends call me Sushma Bhai. Yeah, a lot of our
Wonderful.
industry friends.
I've heard
And
that.
why
I've heard
they
that.
call me Bhai? Yeah, yeah. And why not? Because I go and hit people up. It's
You're
because
the
there is a
bro.
no
Hmm.
nonsense. Yeah, no nonsense. No, you just call it as it is. You don't have to go and beat people up or be aggressive about it. It's about being assertive about certain points. But there are also the same people who call me Ma Sushma. So,
Yes.
uh,
Sushma,
so
you're muted. Huh?
yeah, yeah. I just wanted the fan to come up. So there is both Sushma Bhai and Ma Sushma, who exist within the same person. So I think that is the key. If a woman really understands that she can be anything she wants to be, and then when it comes to convincing the parents, let me tell you, I would say it's very important that the child listens to it.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I would tell a new entrant in the industry, listen to your parent about and understand where is the fear,
Hmm.
where is the apprehension, and address that. The apprehension may not be, it could be safety. Then you address the safety. And our industry is safe, is getting
Yeah.
more than safe. We have a lot of norms, a lot of good companies are following that norm. If
Yeah.
it is safety, then you ensure you join a company with a credible history, a company
Hmm.
that is well known. Don't join a new company that runs out of a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Do your research
Another
well.
aspect,
Yeah.
yeah, do your research. Join a credible company with good principals who are there on top, right? Good founders. Another aspect is if they're worried about you going, traveling. That could be another one. That's when you can actually address it for a new student, and that's what they have. Their parents are worried about traveling because sometimes some parts of India are not safe, and that's a fact. So
Hmm.
then you address the apprehension of where the apprehension lies. Do not address the apprehension that you think that your parent has. Address the one that they really have. And if at
Yes.
any point of time they say no, I would suggest you continue doing what you're doing. Get all your education in place, find everything out. Maybe they're seeing lack of maturity, maybe they're seeing lack of assertiveness. Then you work on that. And
Hmm.
that's when they will get convinced. And this is what I usually tell all my students. I don't say you have to convince them that everything is fine. You
Yeah.
have to carry
You
your
have to
parents. You can't
try.
go. Family
Yes.
is family. Sorry,
Families first.
I know nobody will. This sounds very, very different from what a industry leader needs to say, but this is what I really truly believe.
Sushma, I still think girls, I mean, I know you don't think about gender, but it's time that we sat at the table. Most of us, many of us have chosen to sit at the table and impact. But today, I find many girls are not ready to sit at the table in leadership roles. And I'm very happy to know that you have a program called Breakthrough Leadership. It's a beautiful capsule that you have made, and I think this is your moment to give back because you have come from you've really dug your path up and climbed the ladder. Today you're in a position to tell your story as an example to a life story that another girl or another woman or another human being can take. So this breakthrough leadership program, tell us more about it, because in the days to come all of us are going to applaud to that program, I'm sure.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi. Actually, this is exactly what I spoke about. The fact that you have to view yourself as a leader. people have to view you as an influencer. But more than all that, you've got to also be in a position to provide value to your organization, provide value to the company you're working with. So as a leadership coach, I've been working on various levels. Right now, I have reached a level where I coach CEOs and CXOs on leadership. Yeah, and there is tools of leadership which include communication, public speaking. Can you imagine a vernacular girl, so to speak,
Amazing.
public
Amazing.
speaking on stage? Yeah. So how do you optimize presence both on screen and on stage? Then I have been also coaching CEOs on servant leadership, on providing value to the organizations, providing value to the teams, enabling teams to foster together and work collaboratively. So while I was working there, I was also working on another level, which was a mid level. Yeah. And I saw that most women struggle at the mid to senior level. Where do they struggle? Because they perceive a glass ceiling. They hit a glass ceiling. Now, that glass ceiling is nothing but the fact that there are three aspects, three pillars that they require to actually learn or foster or enable themselves with. Pillar number one is a leadership mindset. And leadership mindset is getting over your own self sabotages, recreating your own story in your mind of you as a woman leader. The second aspect is skills, leadership skills, where you need to break through in skills on how do you communicate effectively, how can you influence people through authentic communication. How do you enable other people to see you literally and see your point of view literally? And the third aspect is breakthrough in visibility, that is networking and creating genuine networks. I'm not talking about a network where you go and give your card out, right? It's actually
Collaboration.
creating strong, yeah, collaborative networks, strong influences within your industry, within your company. So I've developed this wonderful, I saw that this was missing. So I developed this wonderful module, and I appreciate and I thank you for talking about it. And it's called Breakthrough Leadership Framework. I've put all my learnings of the past 20 years together in this framework to enable women to break that glass ceiling. Because a lot of perception, a lot of skill development comes from within. And to enable them to get to their next career jump, enable them to get to that next promotion. And by God's grace, it's really worked. I mean, I've had a lot of wonderful professional women who have benefited with this. So it's something that I'm going out into the public with. So thank you. Thank you for supporting
It's
me on
wonderful.
this. Meenakshi.
Wonderful. I'm really proud of you. I'm really, you're giving back correctly. You know what we get in our hands is it's the only true story we can give back, and you're doing it wonderfully. Now I see that, ICE Global has done well, and then you came back to your cradle. You went back to Wizcraft Management Institute of Events and Entertainment to do their communications. You've gone back to the place you were born as an event manager. I mean, Wizcraft is a great brand, but what is the future? I mean, what is the road ahead for our industry and for you, Sushma? How do you see it in the years to come?
So I have okay. So there is a very simple road ahead. I don't think it's as complicated. So I still run ICE Global. So my husband, my partner, who I married. So I'm Gujarati, remember? So I'm married by a partner. It's called it's called a hostile takeover. So
Good one.
Pramod and I run a company. So Pramod and I run a company called ICE Global. And ICE Global, our specific focus on experiences is crafting experiences of value for our clients. And when we say value, we're not talking about experiences which are only restricted to events. It's experiences which are based on communication. So whether it's the entire satellite of communication that we enable through ICE Global. So that is one company that I'm really, really, really very proud of. And we're 23 years old, and we built it with our sweat and our love and our tears. And our team is one of the best teams that you can ever come across. Meenakshi, one day I wanted to meet them. I really do.
Yes, I would be very
Yeah.
happy. I'd be very happy to
One
see
of
them.
the amazing things is they've been with us through thick and thin, through COVID, non-COVID, over COVID, before COVID, after COVID. They've always been with us. They've never left our side, and that is grace. That is grace.
Yes.
With Wishcraft, I've come back and co-founded. Wizcraft Management Institute of Media and Entertainment. And there we enable, uh, so our format is we go to universities and we have BA, BBA, BMS, MBA in event management with well known universities across the country. So we have designed the course and we facilitate and we deliver the course across the industry. And when it comes to my leadership coaching, you know that is ongoing. Yet I also have got this entire aspect where I'm running the breakthrough leadership framework. So where are we going? We're literally, I think, the entire industry when it comes to event is going to now slowly go clearly into experience creation. And when I say experience creation, is how can we make this experience more meaningful? How can we increase the experience not only through sound, light, stage, video? How can we extend the experience to everything we do, which remains way beyond the event? How can we personalize it a little bit more? And when it comes to community, I think we're really heading to micro community now, Meenakshi.
Yes,
So while you have
yes,
these, either you're going to be macro where you do these large scale concerts, but there's this whole trend in Bombay. I don't know if it is there, but in Mumbai, there's this entire trend that we've gone back to house parties. Delhi used to have house parties.
yes, 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 yes. I see it.
Now the
And the budgets
house,
are better now.
yeah, now the house parties in Mumbai are going to another scale.
Yes,
It's like a whole event, so it's become very eventized. So I think
yes.
that's where we are heading. We're going micro, super micro.
Mm. Yes, yes. I think we're now coming to the end of the 40 minutes, and I've been warned not to talk too much. I can go on and on and on with you. But for all our viewers, I will add links of Sushma's work and, of course, her breakthrough leadership so that you can also attend and, improve your skills. And you can also connect with this wonderful maverick. I request Blue Tick to give us the questions. And for all those who are watching, I also truly feel that life is the biggest event ever. Each one of us are living this every day. So today, tomorrow, forever, events rock.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It has been an amazing 40 minutes till now. And thank you so much, Sushmaji, for such wonderful insights. And I think the audience, I could see such a wonderful vibe this time that all of them are who knows you are talking about your inspiration, your support in their life. And everyone is very, very happy. Many of your known names are also there. But I'll take up the questions one by one. The first question is from uh, Ankit Ishan Verma. He's from Patna, Bihar. Okay. His question is um, how to tackle the situation where everything is going against you, but still you have to smile and survive because you don't have any other option.
So, how do you tackle this situation when everything is going against you? So, thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it, son. Um, Ankit, the thing is that the question is, are things going really truly against you? That is the big question, right? So there are two things that the things that are going against you do. Number one is make you question yourself, and number two, make you alter your course. So if you feel that everything is going against you, one of the best things you can do, and I'm going to tell you how you can do it, sit down and write down number one, why, five reasons why you think they're going against you. Five reasons why. And after you write it down, or it could be even 10 reasons, but five minimum. And on another column, sit then write down five things that you can do about it. Yeah. So five things that you feel are going against you. In another column, write down five things you can do about it. And when you see that written down on paper, you yourself will understand what course you can take. If you need to alter your course, may need to just completely alter your course of action.
Sushma, you're
So I
muted
hope
yourself.
I've answered you. Yeah, I hope I've answered you, Ankit. I hope you've got that. And you
I'm sure.
can WhatsApp me, connect with me. No, I'm attempting, it's too bright. I'm attempting to organize this light here, so please help me because there's sunlight in my eyes. Am I too dark on screen?
No, no,
Oh, no,
you're
Am I
perfectly fine. You're
perfectly,
perfect.
perfectly,
okay?
perfectly
Fine.
fine.
This
I'm
is
perfect.
better
Okay, thank you. Okay,
because
great.
we could
Fine.
see an anxious husband walking around you all the time. So I'm so happy to
Yeah, yeah,
know
no,
this.
no. I've been messaging him because I'm finding shadows all over. I get, and we are event managers now, Meenakshi. So,
Yes, yes, we need to be perfect, man.
yeah, yes.
We have our next question from Shrey. Shrey's question is about event management. In such an amazing profession and a vast profession, according to you, what should we do? Should we choose a specialization and try to ace at it, or should we become the jack of all trades sort of a person in an event management industry?
Thank you. So, Shay, very good question. Very, very good question. Shay. So, thank you for that question. And let me tell you, Jack of all trades does not exist in the event management profession. And I'm sure Meenakshi is going to support me because she's been here forever as much as I have, right? A little bit more than me by a year, right? In the event agents, in an event management industry, the more you know, the more specialized you will get. I would tell you attempt to, and I would request even Meenakshi to put her point of view on this. Yet, I would attempt to tell you, learn everything and learn everything to a level of perfection as much as you can get. So whether it's client servicing, whether it's production, whether it's technology, whether it is creative. Okay, I'm not saying sit and design, don't become a graphic artist, but understand creative appreciation is very important that you get. Whether it's visualization, involve yourself in everything because then you will be a master of the entire trade. So stop looking at specializations as little silos. It is all about a holistic perspective of events. And the person who succeeds is the person who knows every aspect of this wonderful media. So, Meenakshi, could you please add your point of view as well on this?
Yes, Sushma, I agree with you, but in a way, master of everything is important. You should know because, nobody can actually cheat you or take away the thunder under your feet because you have to be the boss of the show. And for every event, there can be only one leader. But having said that, for everyone who gets into the field, you check out what is your area of passion. See, some of us like production, some of us like to be on stage. So, which is that aspect where you will actually make yourself a thorough professional? So, master, but only one. Don't confuse people by being master of everything, but know everything. So, tomorrow, if there is somebody not available, you can double up. Because, I still remember when there was a birthday party years ago and there was no clown, and it was a clown theme party. And lo and behold, in 10 minutes, Meenakshi was the clown. And today I'm a medical clown that started 20 years ago. You never know where this road takes you. So, don't leave your specialization. It is yours. And your passion should be to learn everything, but don't
Yeah.
forget to hit the bullseye where you want it to be.
And that comes after a long time. Once you've learned everything, then I've also seen Meenakshi a lot of times. Students today or professionals today come with a preconceived notion, like, and we did as well. It's not only today, we did as well. So we always thought and viewed. Like I remember, I always thought production because those days it was nothing. I
Yes,
really enjoyed standing and getting that those lights up. I
switch
enjoyed it.
done.
But if I was told earlier I had to do it, I would be like, "नहीं यार कौन बैठेगा right?" So I think that what we're talking about, it's very important. Eventually, you specialize, and yet initially, it's very important to not even view it as jack of all trades. I don't
Yes,
you
yes,
should do it. Learn everything with excitement.
yes, yes.
You're looking
Thank
so
you so much. A
pretty.
lovely question.
Meenakshi.
Lovely
Yeah, lovely
question. A beautiful
question.
answer, Sush. Yes.
Yeah, and so wonderfully answered by both of you. Actually, it's at the end of the day, it's all about the passion, how you handle things and how
Yes.
you take it forward. Yes, very true. We have Rashida Madani from Chennai. Okay, her question is how to tackle the imposter syndrome.
Ah. I'm going to ask Meenakshi to take this first, okay? First Meenakshi, then me.
Vanakkam, Rashida. Life is full of fakes today, and there are imposters in every minute of our life. So be it with also events, because it's also very much a part of life. But it is common sense that, we have to cultivate and inculcate in us So when you get into something, especially in events, I remember many clients, imposter clients, who, tricked me not to pay me my advances and said that, and I really like those people. And at the end of the show, they would find excuses not to pay. And it's very painful, when they owe you a lot of money and they're your own friends. So there are imposters at every stage. There would be crossroads. But having said that, after many years, you have to be street smart. Whether you are, walking the roads of your life, your office, of an event, of your marriage, of your relationship, be street smart and also aware. It's very difficult to see imposters and fake people, but trust your gut instinct. There is a voice inside you, and Sushma has spoken to that voice many times, which will guide you. So let your ego not come in the way when someone inside you tells you that, watch out. Try to be more aware about what you are doing, why are you doing it, and who are you doing it with. So there have been, especially political imposters today. I'm sorry, it's time now. It's a hotbed of people who are fake. So be very careful, and not just in events. And believe me, life is full of them. It's okay, they're part and parcel. It's just like your gut bacteria, You eat food, but you have these guys in your gut, and you can't excrete without them. You need a good digestive system to live. In the same way, your system has these fakes. Learn to recognize them, respect them, because they teach you the biggest lessons of failure. uh, I don't know whether this is making sense. If you want to reach me on this, you can do it. I've experienced many imposters and failures in my life, and I'm still smiling through it.
So there's the two aspects. So I'll give my 2.5 bits on this as well. There are two parts of imposter syndrome. Number one, deal with imposter syndrome that you see in others, or second is the imposter syndrome that we experience ourselves. Right?
Hmm.
This. So I'm going to talk about internal imposter syndrome, while Meenakshi talked about how do you deal with those that you see as in your external world. In our internal world, a very simple way of dealing with an imposter syndrome is understanding how your mind thinks, Rashida. It's a wonderful question, and that's one of the biggest sabotages we have. Imposter syndrome is basically when we talk about the inner world, our subconscious mind. It's that uh, we, in our mind, in our heart, we think that we really don't amount to much. Yet, everyone views us as successful. Everyone views us and we start projecting that we are successful outside and we feel like imposters inside. Now what's the best ways to deal with that? And that is a self that's a one of the most prevalent self-sabotage uh, techniques that we use all the time, and this is usually done mainly by mostly women, and I think we keep sabotaging ourselves. So can I give you one simple way, Rashida, with your point of, with humility, I'll give you one simple way of tackling that imposter syndrome is calling it out. You've got to sit and write down, and one of the techniques I can tell you is sit and write down at least 10 qualities on a sheet of paper that you are proud of, that you are proud of. 10 qualities that make you specifically Rashida that you are proud of. Write it on a paper, stick it on your mirror that you watch every morning, that when you go to brush your teeth, and look at that and say, this person can't be an imposter. Yeah. Start talking to yourself. The one thing that really helped me is looking at myself in the mirror, and I started talking to myself every morning. It's called mirror work. And mirror work is when you look into the eyes, at yourself in the mirror, when you're brushing your teeth, you can't lie to yourself. All you will be able to see is the love that you have, the wonderful, earnest human being you are, and the honest person that you are. So I would say tackle it. The best way you know how is by looking into the mirror. Literally. So I
Wow.
thought I'll be in an imposter, Meenakshi.
Yeah,
I
and
hope
I
that.
take myself out on a date, once in a while I take myself out.
Oh,
I just say,
wow.
Meenakshi, let's go. So I think in this way, we meet the fake guy inside us also sometimes. And, I don't know, it's a simple way for me because for the NLP expert, she would give you the literal and academic version. And thank you, Sushma, for giving me also an insight on what the syndrome is all about.
Most welcome. My pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. We will go to the last question. It is from Sada. Sada wants to know about your initial journey about becoming independent. Was it hard? how difficult was it to find the capitals and fundings to start your business? How did you started your initial journey? So she wants to know about that part.
So thank you so much, Sada. Really appreciate it. I've had many journeys. So I let me talk about the journey at Ice Global. And there was the wonderful part about the journey in an event agency, to set up an event agency, is that at that point of time, the capital that we needed at that point of time was very little. So
Yes.
we could actually save up, and I'm talking about 23 years ago, right? We could actually, right, Meenakshi, we could save up and we could set up that little office. So we started Ice Global from a 400 square foot office with
Mm.
one peon. There was literally one office administrator, one peon, Pramod, and me. Three people, four people. That's it. That's all we started at. The bigger part of the investment is that of investment of time and resources. It's a more of an intellectual investment than it is a financial investment. Of course, today's day and age all is different. Now, आज के तारीख में जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. And I've seen that. I've seen the fact that there are these lovely, large, lovely offices that everyone has, lot of people. So it also depends on what scale you want to begin at. Do you want to begin at a higher scale, or do you want to really start small and grow along with your clients? We chose to start small and grow with the clients. And at that point of time, yes, there were sacrifices that we needed to make. For example, biggest sacrifice was my wedding, where Pramod, remember the wedding I spoke about, where I was only the event manager? Well, that wedding we ran on a shoestring budget with only 80 people attending because we had invested all that money that we had in our company. So I think there are sacrifices that we need to make when it comes to planning your own business. But do not start a business. I repeat, do not start a business without having your financial plan in place, without having your business plan in place, without having your fund flow, everything put down on paper, your vision, your values, what your company stands for. Do not start a company without your basic bricks in place. Otherwise, you'll be setting up yourself up for disaster. That's a little um,
Yes.
advice I'd like to give. Small piece of advice.
Wonderful. Mhm.
Thank you very much. I will again go back to the back seat, and I will flesh out all the thank you notes from all the wonderful people who are listening here today in this session. Thank you very much once again. You can please continue.
Thank you so much, Uzwal. I think we have a room full of very intelligent people, Sushma, and it's a great honor that for everybody who speaks, the audience is God. It is only in relationship of words and voices that we can find truly ourselves. Sushma, for me, you will always be that strong XX chromosome. Being a scientist, I always perceive that, it's wonderful for one woman and another woman to talk about the world because we rock the cradle and rule the world. All of us are
Yeah.
mothers first, wives next. And, at every stage, we have found an identity which we have celebrated. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have today a spark of a woman. uh, she is, somebody who has seen failure very closely. She has fought her way up and got into a different level of expression. Today, when Sushma walks into a room, people stand up with respect. And I would like to applaud loudly for you, little girl, because I know what you have done is laying a foundation along with many of us and voices like yours, who talks frankly and freely about your incomplacencies. You've actually spoken about it, how you were weak, how, everybody loves to talk about the time they were strong. But when we talk about our journeys, when we were nothing and we were groping and our mind has deceived us, and then, we saw the light at the end of the tunnel that makes us palpable human beings. And I wish you all the best, Sushma. I wish you a great life, a great innings, and here's to wonderful people who are magicians, who create the magic not just for clients, not for experiences, but also for themselves internally. God bless you. Cheers to all of you who are watching. Cheers to you, Sushma. Thank you for being on my show. I loved having you with me.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi, and to the entire team of Blue Tick for having us here. It was a pleasure, Meenakshi. It was a pleasure, and thank you everyone who joined. Some friends, some students, really appreciate it, and uh, it has been nothing but a delightful experience. Thank you so very much, Meenakshi.
God
And
bless.
everyone, please follow Meenamma. She is a rock star of our industry. You've got to follow and please, attend all her shows because she meets mavericks, and she also speaks from her heart. So please do. Uh, she's my she's my go-to person now, for sure.
The
Thank
Amma.
you.
The Amma. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Yes, the Amma. God bless you, girl. God bless you. Thank you so much, girls, boys.
see you.